I remember I did an interview at the Senior Bowl. Like, how you think you're practicing? I was like, I think I'm doing good. It was like, Tampa Bay. I don't really like what we see. I'm sitting here like,
look at me now.
No, I'm sitting here like, then why are we meeting? Welcome back, episode number 17 of season 2 of Double Coverage with the McCourty Twins. We're running out of episodes. We're like established now, though. Like that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying overall.
You're right.
You know, they brought us back for a season 2.
They brought us
the
back.
Network picked us up.
Well, we need to thank your wife for allowing us to continue on her basement. As you guys know, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, all those great podcast destinations, or you can find us on YouTube if you want to see our handsome faces. All you have to do is search Double Coverage.
Mama, we made it!
With the McCourty Twins. And as always, you can keep up with us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at McCourty Twins. Quick shout out to our partners here at Double Coverage, Boston Medical Center and Embrace Kids Foundation. We have all partnered together to tackle sickle cell disease. All you have to do to learn more is visit tacklesicklecell.org. Upcoming events, ways to donate, ways to get involved and raise awareness. It'll all be found there. Also,
we'll have an event coming up soon too at the end of February, coming up in New Jersey.
For sure. Go to the website to check that out. Our friends at NormaTec, thank you. Anywhere athletes are redefining their potential, NormaTec recovery systems are helping them push boundaries and exceed their goals. Recover faster, increase circulation, and conquer sore muscles with NormaTec, the ultimate recovery for today's athlete. Visit www.normatecrecovery.com for more information. Go pick yourself one up and get on to recovery.
We got to start. How you feeling? You recovered?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, Thursday will mark another milestone for me, but about ready to start getting a little jogging and all of that. So,
you're not running full speed yet?
No, I'm not running full speed. I mean, I have some Wolverine. I have some Wolverine properties to me, but I'm not full mutant.
It's pretty soft.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to pick me up today. My daughter woke me up at 12:30 in the morning. Then my son woke up at 5 a.m. So I had to go with him. And then Lo woke back up at 6:30 in the morning.
This is a positive start before we get into sports and all that. The off season is rough for dads. Like the off season hits and it's just like full dad mode. Like I told my wife one week, hey, like you can sleep in a little bit. I'll wake up a little earlier. I'll get up with the kids, get the breakfast going before school.
Okay.
And like she took that as
what a man.
It's like, hey, like all off season, I'm just gonna sleep in a little bit while you get it done. So like we had MLK on Monday, so no school. So Monday night, I'm like, are you gonna wake up with me? I'll get up, but you're gonna get up with me. Yeah, I'll get up. Alarm goes off 30 minutes later. She's still in bed. I'm like, what we doing? Like, it's time to get up, help out. Then today,
that's poor leadership, though.
Oldest daughter had tutor after school. Youngest had dance. Wife did dance. I did tutor. Had my son in the waiting area. Wasn't that patient. Won't get into that. But we get back. I'm like, what's for dinner? She was like, I was going to cook when I got home. Cool. So I get home. She was like, yeah, you can put the rice on and can you take the chicken out the fridge and put it all in a bowl? I'm like, do you mean like cook? Nah, I can't do that.
I don't cook?
I don't cook. Laundry, I'll do laundry. I'll do my laundry. I'll do the kids' laundry. I'll help her with her laundry. I'll do the dishes. I don't cook. I don't ask her to play football. Do not ask me to cook.
Can you cook, though?
No, I can't. And there's nothing gender related. Everybody's household has roles, just like a team. Like with the Patriots in 2019 and for the last 20 years, Tom Brady is the guy.
He's had a role to play quarterback.
And he's killed that role. Somebody like me.
If you ask Tom to play free safety, though.
Can't do it. That's been your job. You're the quarterback of the defense. Somebody like me, though. I join a team. I'm like the janitor. Like I find my places. I get in where I fit in, and I make some things shake a little bit. At home, I get in where I fit in. I take control of this area, that area. Laundry, I'll take control of.
You play with the kids. You active.
Yeah.
Active on the Nintendo Switch.
Yup, all of that. Tutor, I'm talking to the tutor. Hey, we need to work on these things. We need to work on those things.
Okay, so you're an educator too.
I'm at swim class. You know what I mean? I'm at gymnastics.
I do swim.
I'm there for all of that.
I can't do gymnastics because my daughter.
Your daughter's still young.
When I go to gymnastics,
that's called like tumbling or mommy and me.
But she's in a year up on her. And like, like when parents be like, yeah, my daughter's 2 and she's with the 3-year-olds and they say it like with their chest out and they're proud. when I went, I was embarrassed. She doesn't follow directions.
Yeah.
She's the only one that walks around with a stuffed animal in the whole class. And like the teacher's trying to teach these kids, but she's off doing this. So the
See,
teacher
your kid is the type of kid that distracts my kid.
Yeah.
Like, she'll go to gymnastics and she'll be following along, doing what all the other kids do. But then there's that one kid that chooses that they're just going to do whatever the hell they want. And they're going to go off into outer space and just go do some stuff. And then my kid is just like, damn, well, what they doing? And then Kai's off in outer space with. So your daughter is the type that we just don't need in these gymnastic classes.
One time, I think we had a Victory Monday, so I went and I was like, oh, she can't come back. I said, she's a total disturbance in the class.
This is kind of
I don't go
upsetting
back
me
and watch.
because she's tarnishing the McCourty name.
That's what I felt like. I feel like in my household, I should have good kids who listen.
And this
they
New
can
England-
follow directions. They might not be great at it, but the one thing they're going to do is follow directions and give you effort.
In the New England area, they're kind of letting us down. Like we gotta do some things about that.
We've been working on it though. She had a bad bedtime, didn't want to go to sleep, so no slime, no Play-Doh today. So we're working on it.
No slime. That's a killer.
Yeah, no slime. Slime's annoying anyway. Shout out to makers of slime though. She locks in for 4 hours on slime.
Tough cleanup.
Not for me. She listens to that.
Breaking news, the New York Giants have added another former assistant coach from the New England Patriots, Bret Bielema, will be joining the New York Football Giants.
I know we say there's always movement in the NFL. But since 2017, the Patriots got to be towards the top of the league of just losing coaching staff to like that has to be pretty high.
Winning comes at a price.
On the amount of people they've lost.
Winning comes at a price.
It definitely does. You look at Jerry is now going to be a new on the Giants.
Quarterback's coach.
Pat Graham from New England, Joe Judge from New England.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Miami has a bunch of New England coaches. So it's New England's everywhere.
I was on social media and I keep getting tagged in this post that says the New York Giants are targeting Devin McCourty, Kyle Van Noy, and Jamie Collins.
Fake news.
Are you being targeted?
I hope I'm not being targeted. That
'Cause
sounds terrible.
That would be tampering.
No, I'm just saying targeted sounds terrible. That sounds like I'm watching freaking Homeland.
Well, I'm watching the show The U, and I'm watching season 1.
The U or just you?
I don't know. It's not that great. Everybody's raving about it. And
wait till I just finished.
The lady has a stalker.
I just finished season 2 because if we don't watch it, Eric Rowe is like texting us nonstop about the show. It got better, and then the ending was just brutal to the season.
Well, we got off target. You're not being targeted. Moving on. Odell Beckham had an arrest warrant. But we didn't get a chance to break news, but the arrest warrant has already
been dropped, right?
Yes, yes. The security guard in which he slapped on the rear end is no longer willing to press charges. Odell had a great night. We already talked about it at the national championship.
Pretty stupid situation.
Comes at a price.
Right.
But
probably got to keep him calm in Miami if he's down there for the Super Bowl.
Well, it was just reported today that he had core muscle surgery, so
stop anybody.
It's kind of limiting. We'll see. Either way, this was very interesting. Watching the NFC Championship game, go on social media.
Battle of the decade.
Go on social media. The former All-Pro, Pro Bowl.
Future Hall of Famer.
Yep. Darrelle Revis goes on and...
He just wasn't impressed. He wasn't impressed by Richard Sherman, obviously in the game, but overall he wasn't impressed. And if you go back through the years, these two have kind of went back and forth at each other on, at the time when Revis was playing, who was the quote-unquote best receiver.
Stated fear of getting beat in man-to-man coverage every snap, every play. The fact that he doesn't travel as a cornerback is lame. Accept the challenge as the best and shut Adams down the entire game. Do it for the game of football. Stop hiding and cover 3 zone. Sherman had a lot to say. Took a shot at Revis's year 9. I guess basically called it the downfall of Revis. But, I mean, the one thing I would say is obviously he actually posted a picture of Revis getting beat. So it was I feel like these...
It was all petty.
Yes. And Revis said it when he put it out there, said that it was petty. And to me, these type of conversations are meant for the barbershop. Not people that have had such elite careers like the Darrelle Revises and the Richard Shermans of the league. Like, you don't really need to sit there and let other people discuss how great you were, because both of them were elite. And obviously Sherman has played in a different system, and he's elite for different reasons. A Darrelle Revis or a Stephon Gilmore are elite, but he is extremely elite. You can make the argument that through the span of his time in the NFL till now, there really hasn't been a corner
He has the most
that's been better
interceptions in the
than
decade.
And not only interception, it's like the lower passer rating while throwing to him as well. So it's not like he's giving up plays and catching touchdowns. He's shutting down his side of the field. But I do.
Did you see what Keenan Allen said?
No, I didn't.
I thought it was interesting. He said, when you watch Revis is the technician. He has his technique down pat. He's not going to be, wrong leverage, any of that. And he says Sherman is a guy like you might catch him with his technique. You might not, but he's a ball hawk. He's going to be around the ball. He's going to get his hand on the ball. It's going to be tough to beat him, once the ball's in the air. And I thought that was a pretty good assessment when you watch those two guys.
For sure.
But the bottom line is, like you said, you're not going to have much luck
Two Hall of Fame
throwing
guys.
at those guys.
For sure.
Sherman probably is going to finish one of those guys with like 40 to 60 interceptions.
Yeah.
Future Hall of Fame.
It's and right after like Revis pulled all that stuff, Sherman comes up with an interception. So
he has 2 in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Both games, interception.
Yep. Getting ready to compete for another Super Bowl. So look forward to it.
Yeah. Shout out Katie Sowers, first female to coach in the Super Bowl. That is just, that's awesome. I think to represent, females in a sport that doesn't usually have females in that position, to have her on the biggest stage. The best part of it is the platform she now has. I hope they do a bunch of specials on her. I know there's going to be some people be like, well, she's just a coach. You don't do specials on other people. We know. They don't need to do specials on other men coaching. She's breaking barriers. She's breaking chains. So I think this is flat out awesome. I hope she gets a ton of media, ton of press. I hope it inspires other women who grow up sitting on the couch watching football,
For sure.
and end up loving the game of football, that they don't feel like they have to only go on the broadcasting or cheerlead or do something that doesn't involve hands-on coaching, or even playing. So Carly Lloyd, talked about maybe kicking. So all these women who do this and break barriers and open new doors, it's awesome. I hope she goes out there and just crushes it.
It's been interesting, too. Speaking of coaching, I saw somewhere on social media someone has said, looking at this game, you would say Kansas City known for its powerful offense, the 49ers known for how well they've played on defense. And you have two coordinators, offensive coordinator for Kansas City, how do you say his name? Bielema or something like that.
Offense go, yeah.
Yeah, and then Bieniemy, yeah. And then Saleh, I think is how you say his name, for the 49ers. Both minority coaches, neither one of them head coaches.
Dominated.
After they've ran through Kansas City for however.
And Bieniemy keeps getting he's not calling plays, but you look at Doug Peterson and Matt Nagy, both were offensive coordinators in Kansas City, and both end up head coaches.
For
now.
sure. So looking forward to just seeing.
There's been a lot of talk of the Rooney Rule.
I'm sure those guys will get their opportunities. But I remember having a debate with somebody on Twitter. It was like, well, maybe there needs to be more minority candidates. And the truth of the matter is that they're there. They're just not the ones that are being promoted. So I'll be interested to see. And also in the coaching world, Dean Pees retires.
New England legend.
Vrabel was able to pull him off the couch to come coach.
He was here before I got here, but a part of some really good football teams.
Yep.
And then also Romeo Crennell will no longer be Houston's defensive coordinator.
Said he may still be there. Not
yeah,
sure.
They said not clear if he'll just retire.
Yeah.
But two guys that, even though I was here after their time, you always hear guys talk about what they meant to the organization, how good they were as coaches, great defenses. And they were a part of really good defenses throughout the years here in New England. So always honor those who come before us.
Shout out Conor McGregor for, 40 seconds worth of action.
Yeah.
Picking up.
Boy, I know people was mad who bought that pay-per-view.
Yes, sir. Yes,
that's
sir.
Mike Tyson-esque.
Threw the cowboy hat out and got the dub.
And what sucks is nowadays pay-per-view is so expensive. My man Marquise came up here. He lives in Arizona, used to play here in New England. Queese comes up and he texts me like, hey, I'll pay you. Mind if I watch the fight? And I'm like, bro, don't worry about it. My house, mi casa es casa. How you going? Mi casa es casa.
You had it halfway right.
I'll pay for it. Man, I paid my bill the next month. I was like, why is my bill so high? I looked, damn fight was $75. I said, come on, $75 for a bunch of undercards. It might be one good undercard.
They're gonna show the highlight of the knockout on Sports Center. So,
but we all still do it.
Not
even
me.
when I'm here by myself, I do it.
Not me. I've never paid for a pay-per-view for a fight.
Yeah.
Not interested. It comes on next week.
Yeah, but it's too late. It's too late. You're just a boring guy, though.
You had some community.
Yeah, community outreach. I did the unthinkable. Woke the kids up Saturday about 7:15, 7:30 in the morning. We were out of the house by 8:30, headed to Faneuil Hall right in Boston to be a part of launch day of Project 351. Project 351 is a nonprofit here in Boston. 351 represents the 351 towns/cities of Boston. And what Project 351 does, they go out and they just service. They service others in multiple ways. They go out and just do community service all year long. You and me actually last May and David Andrews got to be a part of the wrapping up ceremony. So this year was I was honored to be there as one of the service heroes. I guess you were honored too. They said your name, but only I was there. So I don't know how much it counts for you. But I brought the kids with me too. And they did phenomenal. We sat there. It was about an hour and a half. Took Braden on stage. As soon as we got on stage, mommy, mommy, mommy. But they lasted, hit the Children's Museum. So it was really cool to be a part of the launch day for Project 351. A lot of great people they honored. So it was really good. Honor Bathia. Bathia, awesome person, really helps us out with tackle sickle. So over with helps out at BMC as well. So we got to connect and hang out for a little while.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
I had a speech too. Found out right as I was walking on stage.
Good thing you're well spoken.
I did okay.
Conference championship weekend, Kansas City.
Championship weekend,
we'll start
baby.
In the AFC because I'm always more interested in the AFC because it's the only conference I've ever played in.
Tighten up.
AFC, Kansas City and Tennessee went at it in the conference championship game, had a quick start to it. Titans got out to an early lead, being able to actually hit them with a few play actions.
The Titans started the game the way they needed to play for 60 minutes.
For sure.
Hey, you think we're going to run? We hit the pop pass to A.J. Brown. He gets loose.
Takes it 60.
Derrick Henry still running downhill, 8 yards, 5 yards. So the game definitely started the way Tennessee won.
But the challenge we said that they were going to have was that if Kansas City was able to put points up, how are you going to match their points and still
we
be
just
able
talked about covering
to run the ball?
Just covering them, even before they put points up.
So watching the game, I was tweeting during the game. I think I was a little bit more invested in the game. I don't really think, like I said, I have a team when I'm watching it, but then as the game gets going and you start to see all the guys you're familiar with, you start rooting for them. And Tennessee, obviously, as anybody, a lot of times when you play Kansas City, you play a good amount of zone to try to mix it up, not let the ball go over your head. But I felt like the tough thing is when it came down to those third and mediums, third and shorts, the zone, Mahomes is just so crafty back there with time, being able to put the ball in certain spots to be able to break down the zone. And then the times they went man, Kansas City was able to make them pay for it. I mean, that's just a very, very tough offense to try to stop.
When an offense is that explosive, a term we use in the NFL is make them drive the field.
Yeah.
Make them take the ball from if it's a
First
touchback.
down after first down.
Make them drive it all the way through the red area. And that's what hurt. Kansas City started the game like that. They went 3 and out on the first drive, but then they drove the ball down the field, and Tyreek Hill scores on a little quick end-around type play. But then after that, once they get a couple big plays.
The score before half, I mean, they
crushed them.
Tennessee, I think, went on like an 8-minute drive, scores, and then kicked the ball off. Kansas City goes down and scores in like a minute. And then they stop Tennessee and they punt the ball.
And it was the first time they had stopped Tennessee.
Yes. 2-minute drive, and that run by Mahomes was just – I'm watching the game, and I was that was killer.
And I think it because the way Tennessee jumped out, it was 10-zip.
Confidence building.
Then it was 17-7. And then next thing it's 17-14. And now you're like, all right, if we just get a stop before the 2 minute.
I heard the commentators, they hadn't been scored on, hadn't gave up a touchdown in a 2-minute all season.
And I think that 2 minute, you're sitting there and you're like, well, if we get a stop or at least just make them kick 3.
Yeah.
And then the way you say, the way Mahomes scores, it was just backbreaking.
With the Pop Warner stutter.
It was just backbreaking.
And is able to take it the distance and score. So.
I think that really crushed Tennessee. And then knowing all players understand the second half flip. If you can score as an offense and then
get the
Kansas
ball.
City got the ball coming out.
They got the Lamar Hunt trophy. How many people at home were sitting there like, wow, the Lamar Hunt trophy. Hunt. Oh.
A lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people right now don't know what you're talking about.
Ownership. The Hunt family.
Lamar Hunt, the trophy, the AFC Championship trophy is named after Lamar Hunt, one of the founders of Kansas City. And Kansas City is one of those franchises that have kept it in the family, so it's still under the Hunts. And that's the trophy.
I was like, wow. I didn't enjoy Frank Clark's post-game commentary, but
my man was hyped. And I loved it, though. He took a shot at D Ford.
But why?
Talking about offside. I'm just saying, only reason I'm saying I loved it is because now they're going to play each other. Yeah. They won't play against each other.
But we always say it. The team that wins the game gets to say whatever the heck they want. It's just, so I remember watching y'all win the Super Bowl in Seattle. When y'all had Revis and Brown
in Arizona
versus Seattle in Arizona. And I'm watching all of the DBs and after the game, and all y'all are talking about is we're the best secondary in the league. We're the best secondary. And it was just like, when Logan and beat us in the wild card, KV made the revenge tour comment. Logan had a field day with it. Revenge tour stops now. And it's just when you went, and then at the end of it, whoever wins the last game, you get to talk all the trash. You're on top of the
And you got a long time to talk.
For sure. I had a mic drop moment the year before in 2018 as a Super Bowl. It took a long time to get there. Green Bay, San Francisco game.
Not going to lie, I missed most of the game. I was at dinner.
Was not eventful.
I turned to the game when it was 24-zip, and it was like, whoa. I was like, whoa, what happened?
And then San Francisco just won the way they've continued to win. That front four is incredible.
Shout out my man K'Wan Williams from St. Joe's Regional High School in New Jersey. So hopefully I find him in Miami to show him some love. Hope he goes out there and dominates.
But it was just, San Francisco ran the heck out of the ball. Coleman goes down early, and they just continue to run the ball. 220 yards for a touchdown. Mostert, I think is how you say his name. I'm not sure. But have been on multiple teams, cut multiple times, undrafted free agent, and now the second most rushing yards in playoff history. Behind, who he's behind? Former Rams player, tall running back, wore 29. Eric Dickerson.
He did.
248 yards.
Oh, yeah.
In a game where they beat the Cowboys 20-0.
And Mostert had 4 touchdowns, right?
4 touchdowns. Yes.
Incredible. That's awesome.
Aaron Rodgers and them, they made a little bit of
he's an early favorite for won the weekend.
Yeah.
By far.
They made a little bit of a comeback, was able to put some points on the board. Jimmy G threw for 70 yards.
Did he?
70-something yards. And some of it was probably from like a jailbreak screen. They were just like, we're just going to keep running the ball.
Because even Debo Sanders got in the running game with a couple reverses.
That's what I mean.
I saw 2 reverses within 7 or 8 plays in
yards. Kittle's had a nice catch, but Kittle had a nice catch, but he really didn't throw
Kerry Kittles from Nova.
Yeah, really didn't throw the ball much at all. But Green Bay could not stop them on the ground, and Green Bay really couldn't get anything going. So,
not what you expect in that game.
My son is all hyped up. There's 2 red teams in the Super Bowl. His favorite color is red. We're watching the Texans in the divisional round, and Deshaun Watson's his guy. He had this action figure of Deshaun Watson when he was younger, so he's just been a Deshaun Watson fan. And I'm all for it. I like Deshaun Watson. He's all for it. Deshaun Watson, they're out there. Next thing you know, Kansas City's mounting a comeback. I'm going for the red team. I'm just like.
So you creating a bandwagon.
Bandwagon fan. He was all for the Patriots last year when we beat the Rams. He was rooting for the Titans. He was like, Daddy, you used to play for them, right? When they beat us. So it is what it is.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah, it is what it is. Who knows? My wife's not. She's not. She was happy the Titans lost, I think. Nah, I'm kidding. But, yeah.
All right.
What did you think?
Let's dive in.
Yeah, what did you think of the Aaron Hernandez documentary? You're a guy that played with him. Not asking for any commentary on what he went through or any of that stuff.
I wasn't a fan, and I think the thing that was really disgusting about the whole thing wasn't the documentary's fault per se, but I was listening to the radio today, And because of the documentary has come out, and now everyone's talking about, hey, did you see it? What happened? The family of Odin Lloyd has received messages via social media, people, I guess, sending letters, like telling them that they did a horrible thing and they brought Hernandez down and they did. And I'm sitting here like, this family lost their son, their brother, their, big cousin, like community lost a young man. And I'm like, people had the audacity to reach out to this guy's mom and really say stuff like that, whether that's your opinion or not. Like, have whatever opinion you want once you watch a documentary. But why go the extra step and make sure your opinion's heard by someone who's already dealt with this loss?
Yeah.
And, like, I'm sure at some point, though, she has, like, moved on a little bit. And now she's reliving the whole thing because I'm sure it's been on the news.
Even if she chose not to watch the documentary.
It's just been everywhere. Yeah. But getting into the documentary, the documentary's called, like, Getting Into the Mind of Aaron Hernandez. How? Like, we interviewed Callahan, who didn't know him. We interviewed Lee Bodden, who kind of played with him, but, like, was on IR. Then the next year, Jermaine Wiggins didn't play with him. Moreland from San Francisco, who retired early, linebacker, didn't play with him. Like, I don't even think he was in the league until like 2 or 3 years after all of this happened. And then you had a bunch of people from high school, from the way back past. So it was like, all right, we got the high school. We got some of the early life. We already got that, though. We knew that there was no bridge. There was no bridge to get. So I just felt like the documentary had, like, all right, we want people to walk away with this. I think a good documentary you watch, and I feel like usually everyone walks away with something that they have thought from a documentary that's just filled with information, stuff you didn't know. This to me was just like, hey, we want you to know, we want you to walk away and think that he was homosexual and he had CTE, and that's why all of this happened. And, like, to me, that's not, when I watch the documentary, I want to watch it and then manifest and think of stuff on my own. I just felt like it was directed, just directly at that the whole time.
And filled the pieces.
The narrative
and I definitely would agree. For me, watching it, and I didn't even finish it, but I didn't watch the end of the last episode, but the things that I took out of it that I was just like, oh, wow, of some good insight was the phone conversations while he was in jail. And then I didn't, some of the childhood stuff, learning that part of it. But the phone conversations, to me, it was a little bit of an inside look of just like, all right, these were some of the relationship. This is how we interacted. And it's still bits and pieces, but that is what it is, a part of a document. But I would agree. There was so much as I'm watching it, I'm just like, well, man, as I'm watching this, I was in the league at the same time. He was in the league. And I'm just like, everybody giving a perspective in this knew him just about as well as I knew him just playing against him. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I felt like there were college teammates that, and I don't know if maybe they reached out and every single person declined, but there were college teammates you possibly could have reached out to get an idea of what it was like for the years he was in college. There was maybe former teammates here with New England, and obviously guys like yourself and those guys like Gronk, and you're not doing a documentary to talk about this. But I felt like you might have been able to reach out to certain guys who maybe had short stints in the league, who might have been interested to talk about. I just felt like there were more people that, like you just said, could have gave a better perspective to be able to get more out of it.
And I hope this puts the whole thing to bed. Like, it's a very sad story. Within this story, multiple lives lost, kids growing up without fathers, just mothers losing. Like, it's just a very tough story. So hopefully this is like, all right, let's all let this go. Let's let it be whatever it is, and let's all move on. Like, let's stop digging into this. So hopefully, and I think you feel that way because when something happens that, like, the people, like, I say that I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I turned on Making a Murderer and watched it and binge watched it. But it's just, I think it's tough though when you watch something and like the person involved. It's just tough to watch. So
yeah, all the way around for both.
Yes, it is what it is.
For any party involved,
exactly.
The people that lost their lives, their family members.
Know anybody involved.
For sure. But like you said, we'll move right along as well. The Bengals say they have no interest in trading the number one pick.
Saw an interesting tweet though. Said it happens all the time.
All the time. Everybody says they have no interest.
Giants said they had no interest in trading Odell Beckham.
They're gone.
Trade Odell Beckham. Who else was a big trade?
It's just the way it is.
It just happens.
Antonio Brown got traded.
It's just what happens.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, man. It seems like, I mean, the only reports we've seen is Miami is interested. And Miami, we know, has a lot of draft picks that they can offer going forward. So it will be interesting to see what Cincinnati does because you know you need a quarterback, but we have seen teams that have so many other holes. Drafting a young quarterback and sending him out there to the Wolves is not always the answer. So it'll be interesting how it works out.
In regards to seeing how it all works out, Brady in Vegas, pictured with Mark Davis down there at the fight.
The people went crazy.
See how it goes. I saw Martellus Wiley. Now I'm in a training room, so sports is on the TV all the time, so I actually get to watch all these sports shows. And Martellus Wiley actually on the show, I forget what show it was, but he puts up a picture of himself down at the fight with Mark Davis, and was just like, I'm getting ready to make a comeback. Me and Mark Davis talked about it. Get ready to see me back out there. And he said, exactly. This is the same thing we're all doing, just seeing at a damn picture. He said, the fight was in Vegas, and the man is building a big-ass stadium in Vegas. Of course, he's there, and people take pictures with him. And he said, let's just move on and stop talking about it. That's pretty good advice.
We'll do it. Shout out my man, Vinnie Sunseri, hired on the staff with the Patriots. He was in New England while I was in there in the safety room with me. Very energetic, funny guy. All you New Englanders that watch this.
What are the Patriots getting?
You're getting an energized guy, a guy that knows the game. Coach at Alabama. His dad's a coach. So he's one of those kids that they say he's a coach's son. I mean, he understands technique. He understands leverage. He understands everything because he does it perfectly. And now he is also following his dad's steps. His older brother's actually a coach, too, that was at Alabama. Vinny was there in the spring and was hanging out with him. So happy to see him in New England. I think he'll be a very bright mind added to the coaching staff.
Without a doubt. Jonathan Holloway named Rutgers next. I think it's 21st, but don't quote me. I believe it's 21st president. And also going to be the first black president in Rutgers history.
Q Young Jeezy, my president is black, my Lambo.
There you go. So shout out to
I thought it was cool. Like we just talked about with Katie Sowers. You're busting down doors.
Breaking barriers.
So wish him the best.
Looking forward to meeting him when we're
and
back
on
campus.
He was at Yale.
Yeah.
He's from Yale.
Definitely.
New England. He was at Yale. If you're in the New England area, if you're a really good football player, I mean, go to Rutgers. We got a guy from Yale. You're going to get a great education, and you're playing under a really good coach.
Without a doubt.
Especially if you play receiver. I know that receiver coach is pretty good.
Shout out Ty.
He couldn't get open much against us, though, in college.
Going into what's going on in the group chat, someone, high school basketball game, throws something at little Bronny James while he's trying to inbound the ball. Like, to me, what are we doing? High school game, kid is 14. Like, I don't care
who's Bronny.
I don't care whose son he is. Like, nobody should be throwing. Like, it's a high school game. Like,
I love the ref. Ref was like,
yo, we need to get him out of here.
Security. Someone just threw something at him. Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. Get him out of here. And you know what happens, though, when that happens, you see the cop walk over. And they're like, who threw it? And then nobody moves. And I just think about somebody probably being there like,
trying to point to him.
He did it.
Secretly.
Kick him out. Kick him out. Because if you sent by him, you don't want to get kicked out. All you need the ref to do is, well, I think it was him.
Got a really good trivial fact. This was all over social media today, but if there was somebody who had some Super Bowl tickets to give away or something, this would have been a great question to ask. What two running backs have been featured in the last 7 Super Bowls?
You guys know?
This will be the first Super Bowl in the last 7 years that doesn't feature the likes of LeGarrette Blount and C.J. Anderson. I saw that today, and I was just like, dang, I did not realize that. But the first Super Bowl in 7 years, no LeGarrette Blount and no C.J. Anderson. They'll be watching on the couch just like we will.
I want to go to a Super Bowl party, though.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl coming up this weekend. You watching it?
I'll probably turn to it at some point.
Okay.
I like at least seeing what Slate and my man Gilly Lockdown going to do.
You should be playing in it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think so. Steph is taking
he's doing the skills challenge.
Participating in the skills challenge.
Yeah, he's skilled. I like him.
We like him to win it.
I like Steph to win.
I retweeted
He could play receiver. Obviously, he can play corner. So
Yeah, I retweeted
like
it.
him.
I think we got to shoot him a text in group chat and
Yeah,
let him
I
know
like it.
that we're all betting money on him winning the skills challenge. So don't let us down.
I'm not betting anything. That sounds like that could be illegal. So let's not say
Could be
that.
betting push-ups. That's
yeah,
not
okay.
illegal.
Yeah. We've been
Chad Johnson, aka Chad Ocho Cinco. I don't know which last name he's going by right now, but he said that he was trying.
Mama named him Chad Johnson. I'ma call him Chad Johnson.
I'm okay with that. Chad Johnson said he was going to try out to be an XFL kicker. Had a video of him booting one from deep. Didn't try out to be an XFL kicker. I don't know what happened.
He was down at the fight. He bet all his money on McGregor.
He did.
McGregor won. He dapped up McGregor after the fight.
I
Like
saw that.
he hit him that respect. He had the camera follow. So someday the XFL
Damn,
go
that kicking.
kick.
You don't need to kick.
I'm out of here. I'm not doing that.
Senior Bowl's coming up. Any reminisce?
Yeah, I was balling. They thought they
Before you get into your Senior Bowl story, this is my Senior Bowl story.
you didn't go.
I did go. I went to your Senior Bowl, and I rented a car. Instead of being selfish, this is after my rookie year. I should have been selfish. I should have booked myself a plane ticket. Took my then girlfriend, but now wife with me. Bought a ticket for my mama to meet us out there, and that's how I should have went to the Senior Bowl. Instead, rented a car, packed the car in with like 7 of us, of everybody that wanted to go to the Senior Bowl. Took an 18-hour drive down to Mobile, Alabama, which was awful.
He was texting me the
Awful.
whole time. I don't know why I did
Awful.
this.
Don't know why I did it. But that was my Senior Bowl memory. Yours is probably a little different.
Yeah, I was out there balling.
You
You
made
know
a
me,
lot of
balling,
money.
They thought I was gonna go late, but everybody doesn't like you. I remember I did an interview at the Senior Bowl, and it was like, "How you think you're practicing?" I was like, "I think I'm doing good." It was like, Tampa Bay. I don't really like what we see. I'm sitting here like,
Look at me now.
no, I'm sitting here like, then why are we meeting? Like, what are we doing here? This is a waste of time. Who cares? All right, cool. That was my problem. I got frustrated. I think it was Cleveland at the Combine watch junior film with me. It wasn't the best. I was like, my senior film is great, baby. Let's turn it on. Told me I wouldn't run 4.3. I wouldn't run 4.4 or 4.3.
Look at me now.
Matty P said some good stuff. He said at the Senior Bowl, all you men, you never know who you're going to get in the elevator with, be sitting next to, walk by. So you should handle yourself like it's a job interview at all times.
There you go.
Respect. Oh, not on the sheet. Today, though, I watched a panel discussion with J. Cole and Marshawn Lynch. And I thought Marshawn Lynch, and I'm looking at the thread on Twitter, and people were like, yeah, man, he's also educated. Oh, man, like, yeah, I didn't know he was smart. And I'm like, why? Like, the dude went to Cal Berkeley, he was in college. Like, why would he not be educated? But I thought he said some great things. He talked about in 2010, his first year in Seattle, there was 275 transactions that the team had for that year. And he said, in life and football, everyone's like, it's great, man, you make it in football, but they don't think about if you play 3 years to 5 years, that's 3 or 5 years that now you're not thinking about what you're doing after football. You're not doing an internship. You're not starting at an entry-level job. You're just pushing it back. And then you get out, and now you just lost. And he said his whole time, he was like, he left that year and was like, I wonder what happened with those 275 people. And obviously transactions sometimes are up and down on the practice squad. But like many of us know, within a year, when you count training camp, I mean, you're gonna get close to 100 transactions, if not way more, of people being in and out of the facility. So he just talked about how the NFL, like as great as it is, it's an environment that fosters guys to a lot of times not be themselves. If they want to stay in the NFL, if they want to get big contracts, you're told to be who you think you need to be. Because if you don't, and then you end up out of the league, now you don't know what to. So I thought he just had some really good insight for people who don't think that the NFL is just once you get there, it's just like, oh, you made it.
Well,
you're living your dream.
Everybody
It's
doesn't have
easy.
a 10-year career. They still need to go to.
It's a great job
opportunity
opportunity
for everybody.
But there's some realities of it that are not great for everyone.
For sure.
Like in basketball, you look at Delonte West. A lot of people looked at that video and was probably laughing and joking. but you see him,
It's
he's on the
sad.
side of the street. He looks homeless. He looks like he's having some mental issues.
Health,
And he played 8 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, he played over the average, made good money probably. But it's like anybody else, though. If you have issues, no job, no amount of money will
no
fix that.
fame
You
is
need
gonna
help.
solve that,
You need
for
help.
sure. For sure.
So that was just some real life.
Yeah. NormaTec Comeback of the Week. Who you got?
The Hunt family. I believe this is the first time that they've had to hold up the AFC Championship trophy once it was named Lamar Hunt. I mean, does it get much better than that? And this was close because I wanted to go Mostert. I mean, you get cut Mostert. You get cut
Mostert.
multiple times, and then you go out there and dominate. But I just thought as a whole organization, hosting the AFC Championship game last year and losing in overtime had to be crushing. And then this year to go and do it, unbelievable for Kansas City. The whole city of Kansas City. I always love it because they gave us some of the best barbecue in the world last year. And they showed us respect and let us eat. Nobody bothered us, even though we were on the Patriots. So shout out Kansas City. You're headed to Miami. But I'm not going to say who we got to pick yet.
Yeah.
We'll save that
We'll
for
get
next
back
week.
to that. Yeah.
Who you got? Lost the weekend.
Whoever it was that threw that little, whatever it was, at Bronny James inbounding the ball, lost the weekend.
Male or female, you lost. You lost.
Whoever
man.
it was. I saw a zoomed in image, but you really couldn't tell. Whoever that was, you lost.
Who won the weekend? Conor McGregor. Think about this. We haven't heard much about this guy since he lost to Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he got in a fight at Barclays. I think he had got in trouble for something else. And then he gets back in the ring and he's like, yeah. I mean, the octagon. And he's like, yeah, I know. You miss me, but don't forget, I'm still good out here. But his next fight will be against some real dogs too. So we'll see who he chooses. And not that I follow UFC that closely, but I've seen some of those other guys go. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But shout out Conor McGregor. You won the weekend.
I got to disagree with you there. I got to go with Raheem Mostert. I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it 3 different ways.
But regardless, the man went from undrafted to cut multiple times to have 29 rushing attempts, 220 yards, and 4 touchdowns, while averaging 7.6 yards a carry.
7.6.
And he said, for good measure, I'm going to catch 2 passes for 36 yards. I mean, catch 2 passes for 6 yards.
Yeah, that's not great, though.
That's not great, but it doesn't matter. The man had 200.
Why didn't you just add that? Why you got to show me up on my show?
He had 220 yards. You know what he had in the regular season? 137 attempts for 772 yards.
He was flat out balling. That's a pretty good average.
5.6 yards.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. This kid came. You got to remember who were the running backs on their team.
Yeah, I know.
Tevin Coleman, Matt Breida. You also got to count the
And,
fact that McKinnon got hurt. But this guy still was a third-string running back, was a special teams player, and got his opportunity and just took off with it. So he definitely won the weekend. But shout out to McGregor.
I can see it. He won the weekend.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Sorry.
As a reminder, you guys can tune in every week. Maybe one more week, we'll get you a Super Bowl edition of Double Coverage with the McCourty Twins. But either way, iTunes, YouTube,
and tell your mama you made it.
Double Coverage with the McCourty Twins. And as always, thank you to our partners, Boston Medical Center, Embrace Kids, and NormaTec Recovery System. Thank you guys. See you later.